Hello, welcome. My name is Kathrin Xenophontos, and I am a music teacher in the upper high school here in Cyprus. I will be talking to you today about Bandlab and how we can use Bandlab in voice recordings. So, this is going to be the introductory session in a series of videos. We're going to look at how we can log into Bandlab and look at the different areas and functions of Bandlab today. So we will first open our web browser. If you will be using a mobile device, you will log in to Google Play or to the App Store and download the free application Bandlab. We are going to search for Bandlab. And as you can see, we have two choices here, Bandlab, which is the standalone studio application, or Bandlab for education. So we have decided for these projects to use the standalone Bandlab Studio, as it is inclusive for all students, teachers, and anyone who wishes to use the program, as you can access it on all devices, meaning you can download the application and you can access it also from a computer. So downloading means you can use it on a tablet or on a mobile device, and online you can use it through a browser with your desktop or laptop. Bandlab for Education, just to clarify, is the education version of Bandlab. It can be used with a desktop or a laptop, and it is set up for a school setting where the teacher can create assignments, create a classroom, and work with the students in a controlled education environment. It also uses the same Bandlab application, so the functions and the layout is exactly the same. So let's move to the Bandlab Studio. Here at bandlab.com, if you do not have an account, you will sign up. If you do, you will log in. It's the same thing on the tablet or mobile device. You will have to create a user account. So you will click sign up, and here you can enter your information and move to sign up to Bandlab. So once you sign up, we will move to login, and you get the main homepage for Bandlab. To get started, we will click on Create and New Project. When we get started with a new project, Bandlab asks us to create our first track. There is a selection of different tracks that we can use. The first is voice and audio. So here we can capture voice and any other sound. We can choose to use an instrument track, which here we have the option of different virtual instruments. So you can actually play a keyboard or a string or some kind of percussion instrument and actually record using this instrument. You have the drum machine, where it allows you to create beats in seconds using a drum pad. The sampler turns any sound into an instrument, so you can actually create a different instrument with many different sounds. And there are guitar and bass plugins where you can actually use these instruments as amps. In the mobile and tablet version, you also have the looper option, which is a digital instrument, and it is a looper where you can create beats with ready-made loops that are in the Bandlab library. You can also import audio and MIDI file if you'd like. So I'm going to just create a voice and audio. And I can also add a virtual instruments track so that we can get started. We have just looked at the Add Track button. So this is the button we use to add our different tracks. We can then look right beside that button where we have the automation button. This button allows us to automate different activities in a channel. And right beside it is the stretch button, which allows us to change the tempo of a section of the track. Most importantly, on top are our song settings. So these are the settings we are going to need to properly record a vocal track or an instrument track. So we have the metronome, where we can have it on or off depending on if we want to hear it or not hear it. We have the tempo, our time signature, and our key signature settings. In the middle, we have our controller settings, so the play button, the stop button, the record button, and this is the cycle button. So this is where you would be able to kind of loop a part of the track. And our button that shows where we are in the track. The volumes button is here on the right. All right, moving on, we need to just remember that we can see where we are in the track by looking at the timeline here and here by clicking with our mouse or tapping on the screen. We have our tracker where it shows where we are in the track. Down below, depending on which track we have selected, if it's an audio track, we would see the audio settings below. So you can see my microphone is working here because the input level is moving up and down. If I click on the instrument track, I currently have a piano as my virtual instrument where I can play it with my keyboard or hook up a MIDI keyboard. And if I am on a tablet or mobile, I can actually touch the keys and they will play. We have the effects button. So if I click here on the effects button, we can add different sound effects to the channel. And beside that is our MIDI editor where we can actually change and edit the notes of the instrument track. On the top here, on the right, we have the invite button. So this is the exciting part of Bandlab, where if I invite other people to my project, we can collaborate in real time and also talk using the chat button that's down here on the right. So you can actually do this live, and people can actually work on a project simultaneously, even though they are not in the same room. So here we have a lyrics and a notes button where you can add notes as you're working on the session or add the lyrics to your songs. So if I would like to record, I can click on the record button here and it can start recording my voice. And I have the metronome turned on, so now it's actually recording my voice, and we can see that it's doing that once I click the stop button. We have a sound wave graphic here, and it's where I can now move into the track and either mute it, pressing the M, or pressing the S, I can have it play as a solo. This is the volume button of the track where if you slide it up or down, you can change the volume. And I can also pan right or left. And there are different settings here for each track. First of all, name the track, which is important so that you know what's going on in your project. You can change the color of the track, and you can duplicate the track or export the track. If I click on the instrument track here, I can play using my keyboard and record the piano as a virtual instrument. So I can press record. actually record. If I click on the instrument track now, you can actually see that I can edit the notes of the track and also make other changes to the instrument track, and the same goes for the voice track. So I can actually cut and change different parts of the vocal track as well. Now, that was just a really quick overview of Bandlab. So I invite you to explore the program over the next couple of days. And in the next session, we will get into actually how you would help your students and choir members get started working on a project.